You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And if you can hear the enthusiasm in my voice, it's because we are doing some gambling this week.
Well, I thought you were going to say if you can hear the sirens in the background, we're about to get raided for running an illegal bookkeeping operation.
Oh, I wish. If we had the capital. So I take it you can hear the sirens in the background of my place?
Yes.
Okay. They've hired they've purchased new sirens, so they seem extra loud lately.
Holy Christ. Sounds like you're going to stop right outside your house.
Oh, these ones are far away.
That's far away?
Oh, yeah. You should hear them when they're close.
That's why I live in the burbs.
All right. So, as I alluded to, the season over-under numbers are out, and the divisional numbers. So on our next podcast, we're going to try to pick some division winners. This week, though, in the absence of virtually any other NFL news of meaning, we're going to try to bet some teams over-under win totals. Yeah,
this is the earliest they've ever been out that I can remember.
Yeah, usually some offshore thing would put them out, but we didn't have accounts there, and it seemed fishy anyway. I don't know how much action they were taking. But, yeah, they went up early. I called you this morning and said I saw them on our betting site.
Well, I remember going to Vegas some years for the July 1st long weekend and going and asking some of the sports books, and they looked at me like I had three heads if the over-unders were up. And now we're doing it at the end of May. Man, yeah. The NFL just keeps rolling. Fuck. It's crazy. Well, like, there's got to be enough interest in it to put them out this early.
And enough interest by gamblers, which,
Well, that's what runs the news cycles anyway in football.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why when they were saying, there'll be no team in Vegas, the NFL won't do that. You people are idiots. Anyone who said that is an idiot. And I also saw one of the most idiotic quotes I've ever seen. Well, I talked to someone and they said, we wouldn't want an NFL team here. We want people on the floor gambling. Yeah, that's why you pay Celine Dion how many millions of dollars?
Yeah. Well,
are they gambling when they're at her show? No, it's another reason to come to fucking Vegas.
Well, and the gambling action will go up on football if they have a team there. But the mayor of Las Vegas said, if we built the NFL a new stadium in Las Vegas, they'd have no problem with gambling. And that's exactly true.
Yep. And this is the only case where I could see public money supporting a stadium making sense. Las Vegas is a one-industry city. It is tourism.
Well, one casino will just build it. It'll be a casino that'll own it. They're not going to let that money go to somebody's hands.
Well, yeah, however it gets done. This is the only case
build.
I think that it makes sense for a taxpayer base to invest in a stadium.
Yeah, but they won't have to. Because you know who built the MGM built a new arena for the UFC. That new AT&T or whatever it's called arena they opened there was strictly built to get more seats in for the UFC. It's the hockey stadium size now. But they built that for the UFC. That's where they hold all their pay-per-views in Vegas from now on.
Well, and that makes sense. I mean, because you're going to get 16 other teams. Fans are going to come there. They're going to see it. It'll be the worst home field advantage in the league, maybe even eclipsing San Diego's terrible joke.
Well, how does that... Well, it'll have to be a covered stadium because you couldn't play there in September. Miami was bad.
Yeah. Well, no, it would be covered anyway because it's not about the players. They don't give a shit about that. But if you're going to have people coming in, you want them in air-conditioned comfort in every minute.
Yeah.
Right? So it's...
And for
they
other
might
events.
try to sell that as saying that they're doing it because the players would be destroyed in that heat. No, it's because you want the patrons to be comfy.
If they built a stadium like Jones has in Dallas, people go to Dallas just to go to the stadium. Vegas would be crazy.
It makes total sense to me. And
you put a convention center in it, you do the whole thing. It's no-brainer.
And quite
Raiders
a few people have brought up that the NFL desperately wants to establish this London thing. Well, the sportsbook we bet at is based in London. They have legal sports betting on fucking everything. So
it's not. It has no. But the gambling is what drives the NFL market. They know it. They just try and pretend that it doesn't.
They just want to have a piece of it. That's their issue. We saw it with fantasy, daily fantasy. If the NFL can own it, they just don't like anyone else making the money that they think is rightfully theirs.
Yeah, you're right. So hopefully, I would love to have the Raiders in Vegas.
I could go see a Chargers game in Vegas every year.
Yeah.
Without having to risk going to Oakland to see them play the Raiders, right? It would be
but they'd still all come down from Oakland.
Yeah, but Vegas also tries to keep the tourists safe.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot more than the city of Oakland cares about the safety of a Chargers fan.
Or has the money to do it, yeah. All right, let's get into some gambling.
Okay, 1 point right at the start. I think what's pretty important in these season over-under totals is the interconference play. Carolina last year, for example, played the AFC South. You cannot get 4 easier games than that.
Oh, come on.
You can't. Let's be honest. So I just put down quick notes. This year, the AFC East is playing the NFC West. The AFC North is playing the NFC East. The AFC South is playing the NFC North. And the AFC West is playing the NFC South.
All right.
So without a total schedule breakdown, you can see right away. I think
we're only missing 2 games, basically, out of each team's schedule with that math. Because you got the divisional games and then 4 other games out of conference, and then there's only 2 games left.
Yeah, and I think we would both generally agree. Yeah, I do think they play the full 4 now. Right? You don't skip one team.
No.
So I think we agree the NFC South is mostly weak. The AFC South is mostly weak.
Yeah.
And I think the NFC West, both the NFC South and the NFC West have 1 to 2 good teams, but there's still some... I guess Arizona's good too. I'm going to take it back in the NFC West.
They have 2 good teams.
NFC East. Anyway, that's just something to start with.
I don't even know how good Seattle is anymore. Yeah. All right. Seeing you noticed what was going on the site, you can make the first introduction of something we can argue about.
Well, I think the first one, we got to go back to our legacy here. We skipped it last year and we would have cashed it. Even though their number is tiny, we have got to take Cleveland under.
Yeah. I had that down to under 4.5. Oh, where are they? Cleveland Browns under 4.5 minus 110.
That's actually a good price. That's one thing about these being up early is the action came early and there are some big weights on prices.
Yeah. Which I'm picking more or mostly, or not mostly, but somewhat on price as well.
Yeah, me as well. And in this case, you can believe what you want about the direction Cleveland's taking. I think it's mostly good, what they're doing, but even if you're going to an analytical, metric-based strategy, you can't completely swing in that direction.
No, and RG3's coming into quarterback who hasn't played in a year and a half. I don't know what they're going to have for receivers.
Behind no offensive line, with the exception of Joe Thomas. No running game to speak of.
The defense had its moments, but...
Yeah, but they're jettisoning so many players. They're trying to do Moneyball in Cleveland. And I think that if they'd gone 40% in that direction, it makes a lot of sense. But anytime you take one strategy, which is, we don't care about numbers, we like to see who can play, grrr, or we just look at numbers and we figure we can slot anyone in, if you go to either side of that pendulum, it becomes just dogma. Right? It's always got to be a mix. So I like to see them try something different, but I don't think this is going to work. And I like Cleveland under.
Yeah, $5 pays $9.54.
All right.
So that one's booked. If I can find a pen that works. Done. Jesus Christ, do I not have a pen? I've tried like 6. Oh, there we go. Okay. So that one's done. My first one that I'll bring in is one I texted you, 3 weeks ago? When I think the numbers first came out on Bovada.
Yeah.
And I said, please let us bet on the Rams. And you go, well, I've got no problem with that.
That's almost a perfect memory of that text exchange.
So the Rams are under 6.5 with a rookie quarterback and Jeff Fisher, who is the king of a 500 record. Their defense wasn't as good as we thought it would be last year. They have no skill position, no wideouts, really. Their offense last year was reverses with, Tavon Austin?
Yeah.
Was their offense was thrown to him or running 5-6 reverses a game.
And Gurley. Don't forget Gurley.
Yeah.
Gurley's a major factor, but I don't think he can win a whole ton of games by himself.
Like the Rams are minus 190 over 6.5 and plus 160 under 6.5.
Best price on the board.
I don't know how. I know 6.5 isn't a lot. But they've got to play when I looked at their schedule, and it wasn't easy.
Well, they're playing the AFC East out of conference.
Yeah.
I don't think they're any good, and I don't think they're designed to assimilate a rookie quarterback.
Well, that's where Gurley will help. But here's their schedule. At San Francisco, home to Seattle, at Tampa, at Arizona, home for Buffalo, at Detroit, home for the Giants, home for Carolina, at the Jets, at home for Miami, at New Orleans, at New England, home for Atlanta, at Seattle, home for San Francisco, home for Arizona. Where is there 7 wins coming out of that schedule? When you look at how many times they go east, Tampa, Buffalo, Detroit, New York, Carolina, New York again, Miami.
Well, Miami's at home, you said, but...
Oh, yeah, or New England. Fuck. At Tampa, at Detroit. Oh, they're home for the Giants. At the Jets. At New England. That's 4 trips across the country. We all know how well teams do traveling from east to west.
Arizona and Seattle are both vastly superior in their own division.
Yeah, Tampa's good.
I mean, somehow they always play Seattle hard, but it's gimmickry, and I still don't think you can count on gimmickry.
Buffalo's
somehow they
good.
always split with them. Yeah, well, the whole AFC East aren't chumps. Like, there are no easy outs there.
No. Jets are good. Buffalo's good. Well, Miami's kind of chumpish.
And I love Gurley.
But
But when he's 80% of your play, defensive coordinators should be able to find a way to stop him.
Well, and the thing with most of the teams they're playing have decent defenses. Arizona, Seattle, New England, the Jets,
Theoretically,
Carolina,
Buffalo, Miami's
Buffalo.
huge up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I don't see
love
7
this
wins
bet.
there.
I couldn't believe the price. I thought I was reading it backwards. Because as you said, you texted it, so that was one of the first prices I looked up because I knew we were going there. And I thought, no, really, we've got to be given the negative 160 or whatever it is.
Yeah, but minus 190, they're that sure they're going to win 7 games?
And just because Jeff Fisher is the king of 500 doesn't mean he always gets to 500. I mean, last year, what were they, 7-9?
Mm-hmm.
Their defensive front came on, but they went, I think, 6 games last year without a sack.
Yeah, I don't know how they're with the rookie quarterback. I don't know how they're winning 7 games.
No, I love
against
this.
those defenses. I don't know how they're doing it.
I am in total agreement on this. Let's just book it.
Okay, $5 pays 13, and you'll probably listen to us at about week 11 saying "fucking Rams."
Yeah,
They'll be at
well,
6
Jeff
wins.
Fisher is sort of your own personal demon. So.
There'll be 6 wins, and after week 11. But no, all the teams are playing have fairly strong defenses for the most part. I just don't know. I know Gurley can run, but against a rookie quarterback, he's going to have to make some plays. And I don't see either one of the top 2 picks this year being Mariota or Winston. And even their teams didn't win a lot of games. So
That's a great point. I think either Mariota or Winston are vastly superior to Wentz and Goff.
yeah.
And why everyone's expecting those two to suddenly turn around franchises.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Who you got next?
My next up is probably going to be a little more controversial. I have Baltimore over 8.5 wins at plus 120.
I don't know how you see that happening.
Well, part of it is I think Cincy steps back.
Not that much. Okay, I'm just looking at their schedule. Because I'm just looking at Pittsburgh and Cincy in that division. I don't know how you're not getting 3 teams over 9 wins. And the Steelers are at over 10.5, and the Bengals are over 9.5.
Yeah, and I don't buy the Bengals. I buy the Steelers, but the Steelers look to me like a 10 or 11 win team, which is why I don't want them.
Yeah,
Baltimore had literally everything go wrong.
Their schedule's brutal.
Run it by me then.
Buffalo to start, at Cleveland, at Jacksonville. Those are winnable. I don't know if they go into Buffalo and win. Their defense is horrible, dude, in Baltimore.
They were on the field 45 minutes a game.
Well, they're
they
not
had no quarterback. They had no nothing. Somehow they were hanging in
Flacco
there.
got hurt like week 13 or 14. Come on.
Yeah, but they had no receivers. That
They still
has
don't.
to improve.
They still don't.
Yeah.
What did they improve on? They're okay. So then two of their first three are on the road. Then they have Oakland and Washington at home. Then they go to the Giants and the Jets in back-to-back weeks. Then they have Pittsburgh at home, Cleveland at home. Then they go to Dallas. Then they have Cincy and Miami at home. Then they go to New England. Then they're home for Philly and finish out the year at Pittsburgh and at Cincinnati.
How the fuck did they get New England? Okay, you see, here's where my quick fix of looking at the divisions, a lot of those surprised me. Oakland, New England. Yeah, I'll rescind that one. No, you... Yep.
Like, Dallas is going to be better this year. I just don't know where they upgraded enough in talent to get to 9 wins.
No,
they're the new New Orleans Saints for how they're getting respect from the bookies. Because what did Flacco show last year? Steve Smith's coming off an Achilles injury.
Yeah, I'm not putting much into Steve Smith.
No, but who else do they have at receiver? Dennis Pitta wants to play, but they're telling him just retire.
Yeah, before your leg actually comes off on the field, your hip breaks that.
I don't know
time.
What have they signed in the offseason to. They've cut a couple of cornerbacks for legal reasons. I don't know where they've improved enough. Flacco's been awful since they won the Super Bowl. Like, how many wins did they have last year?
4.
I'm just looking it up. 5. And that's supposed to be an 8?
See, 5 with nothing.
Yeah, but what did they add? Tell me what they added to give them 4 more wins against that schedule.
The schedule was a little overwhelming there.
But I don't know what they've added to get to 9 wins.
I mean, I think they beat Washington, Philly, and the Giants.
Well, Washington's defense is no joke.
They can sack, that's true. Yeah, no,
they don't have much of a running game.
I don't even put that as a possible anymore.
Like, one of those wins they had last year, fucking Mallet was quarterbacking them for. Like, okay, you give them 1 win back for the stupid fucking Jacksonville game, but Jacksonville's not going to be an easy out this year. They were frisky last year. And they're going to be improved this year. So I couldn't let you go on Baltimore, sorry.
No, that's fine. That's why we do this.
But when you have them at 8.5, the Bengals at 9.5, and the Steelers at 10.5, something doesn't compute.
That's like the AFC West.
There's not going to be 3
everybody but
teams.
The Chargers is at 9.5.
They're not going to have 3 teams in the playoffs out of that division.
Yeah, the one I think is going to fade is Cincy, and that was partially based on that.
Yeah, but what has Cincy lost?
Every other receiver than AJ Green and an injured Tyler Eifert. Parts of their O-line, parts of their D-line.
Their defense will be good with Marv. It's the strength of their team. Dalton's proved he's a good regular season quarterback. Didn't get a chance to in the playoffs this past year, but I would feel more comfortable betting Cincy over than Baltimore over.
Okay, and I don't want to do that, so.
Just on track record of Flacco. Ugh. He had 4-game stretch where he was good and got $20 million a year.
Timing, I guess.
Then he went in the toilet. All right. So this one you may have a problem with, but I have Tampa over 7.5.
No. I don't like it. Let me make your argument.
Well, I think they won 6 last year with Winston, and I told you I watched them, a few clips of them in the locker room and how everybody responded to them, and what kind of a leader he was and how they believed in him and they were winning games just based on that belief, they're going to be better this year without fucking Lovie Smith and Winston running the team. And they play in a shitty division.
Yeah.
They've got I think Carolina regresses this year.
I agree.
I don't fear Atlanta or New Orleans. And they won 6 games last year. Is it really a stretch for them to get 2 more wins this year? Well, I think they re-signed Dyke Martin, did they not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's had 1 good year in 4.
2. His rookie year and last year.
Yeah, the rookie year was 5th year. So that was it's his, I believe it's his 6th year.
But here's their schedule. At Atlanta, at Arizona, home for the Rams, home for the Broncos, at Carolina, at San Francisco, home for Oakland, home for Atlanta, home for Chicago, at KC, home Seattle, at San Diego, home New Orleans, at Dallas, at New Orleans, home for Carolina. Atlanta, Rams, San Francisco. Oakland would be, I'd say that's a 50-50.
No, Oakland's way better than Tampa. No, you can't call that a 50-50. That's a 1-in-4 shot they win that game.
Oakland might be a little overstretched too.
It's true, but not as overstretched as Tampa.
Well, they got the Raiders.
Defense was pretty terrible. I hear what you're saying about Winston, except that he still throws the ball away way too much. I agree with what you say about him being a leader. I agree that we're going to be watching him for a lot of years. I don't think he's going to wash out of this league.
But there's a lot of teams on this list that we don't know what they are. Like, we know Denver has a good defense, but will they score any points?
Yeah, but I think they'll be able to shut down Winston.
Or Seattle.
Same thing. And Seattle, I think, is in a transition period where they're going to surprisingly score more points than they have for years. I mean, you saw it in that stretch. Those receivers are not terrible in Seattle anymore.
No, but we don't know what Dallas is. We don't know what Chicago, Oakland, or Denver are. That's a quarter of their schedule.
Yeah, okay.
And they have Atlanta.
I'm just counting what I think.
They have Atlanta twice, New Orleans
Rams,
twice.
Niners,
New Orleans, Chicago,
San Diego,
Dallas.
That gets them to about 6. Yeah, okay. I'm going to put that as a possible.
Because what's the number on that one? I wish they just did it all in order. So over is plus 145.
Okay, it's a good price.
Part of it? That was part of it?
Yeah.
But looking at their schedule, there's a lot, like, we're basing this all off of last year, but there's always teams that regress. We have no idea what Dallas has. I know
I know.
They got a good running back, but
Dallas was within 1 score of winning almost all those games without arguably their 2 best players.
Right, but Dez is coming off injury. Romo's, who knows if he can stay healthy. He's got back problems and now clavicle problems. Rams, I think, are going to stink. I think Seattle's not going to be as tough as or feared as they used to be.
I don't think they're going to be feared, but I don't think the Lynch thing changes much. In his absence for most of last year.
Yeah, but the guy that replaced him...
They could chuck the fucking ball.
Yeah, but the guy that replaced him blew his knee out too last year.
No, he broke his leg.
Well, he was
Nothing
out
to do
for,
with the knee. Yeah, he snapped his pin in like week 10. He was done.
So
a broken leg is not a blown out knee, you know.
No, but they're.
That's
I don't have a lot of
Plus,
faith
they
in
drafted
Seattle.
more depth. I don't like Seattle's O-line, but I think they're much better than Tampa Bay still.
I don't know.
I think they're a lot better than Tampa Bay.
We know how Seattle does on grass outdoors. Not the greatest road team on the planet.
No, this is true. It's not a bad call at the price, but you're still calling Tampa a 500 team, and
well, they've got 4 games against that shitty part of their division. Between Atlanta and New Orleans. I think they're better than Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta's not the question. New Orleans can still occasionally throw up a lot of points.
Yeah, but
I'm defeating my own argument for my next pick.
Oh, God. If you have New Orleans over 6.5,
I have them under.
Oh, okay.
So
I was going to throw my computer.
Throw up a lot of points. I said I was defeating my own argument. Yeah, no, that's definitely in the mix. That's not terrible, and the price is good.
Yeah, I said it was a little bit of a reach at the start, so.
No, and it's not the worst.
Price-wise, there's not a lot out there that you go, oh, that looks great. The Rams was the only one I was like, oh, that's fucking juicy.
Yeah.
Everything else I had to kind of, outside of our legacy pick of Cleveland, I had the other 2 I picked, Tampa Bay, and the other team I picked were like, okay, price is good and there's questions against either the opponent or the team.
Well, yeah, I mean, we both liked Green Bay under 10.5, but the price was negative 160. So that just can't make the list, even though we both like that.
Yeah.
No, but this one pays a good price. Okay, my next pick is New Orleans under 6.5 games. Pays even money.
Under 6.5. Yeah, I don't mind that. How many wins did they have last year? 6?
I believe so. 6 or 7.
Okay. Let's see.
They made that run, but they started off like 1-5, and then it was smoke and mirrors. It was Breeze created Ben Watson. Ben Watson at what age suddenly turned in a ridiculous season? Yeah, I know Breeze. The argument then is that he can make any tight end look good. No.
One of the 2 Titans wins last year came easy. Yeah, they got to 7. They won 3 of their last 4. They beat Tampa, beat Jacksonville, beat Atlanta. And not crushing these teams. They beat Tampa 24-17, beat Jacksonville 38-27, and beat Atlanta 20-17.
Oh, and Jacksonville's defense is brutal. Their schedule reads Oakland, Giants, not much. Atlanta, that's a coin flip. At San Diego, probably. Carolina, no. KC, no. Seattle, no. Niners, 50-50. Denver, Carolina, Rams, Detroit, Tampa, Zona, and Tampa. Yeah. I don't see 7 wins there.
No, Oakland should beat them. Giants should beat them. Atlanta coin flip. Carolina should beat them. Kansas City, Seattle, San Francisco. Don't know because Chip Kelly's there, and if Kaepernick buys in, that team, San Francisco could be scary.
Not Super Bowl winning scary, but winning more than 4 games scary.
I think San Francisco could be 500 if Kaepernick's in.
Okay.
Well, he's that good of an athlete. There's no price on San
It would be a
Francisco,
perfect
so
system.
it's not on my
for
list.
him,
But
yeah, and if he's healthy, that becomes an issue too. But New Orleans, at even
I don't
money,
see
I don't
7.
think it's a terrible bet at the end.
no, I'm in.
Okay, well, don't get in yet. Let's put that. It wasn't crazy like my Baltimore pick, put it that way.
No, I like that one. I like it.
And Breeze really has been amazing, but I don't like Rob Ryan. I think he's incompetent with the exception of 1 year in Oakland.
Yeah, but he's gone.
1 year
He's
in
gone.
New Orleans.
He's
I
gone.
know, but they haven't changed anything about their personnel to improve upon him. When he says, yeah, I had terrible people and they tried to force the system on me, he might not be wrong. I don't see the defense getting any better without him. Put it that way.
I'm not trying to defend them getting over 6.5, but if a system's forced on you, the only reason that was because his system fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Before that.
Well, and I remember when he came into New Orleans, and we actually talked about it on the podcast, saying, hey, way not to blitz. Suddenly your defenses look all right. But then he went right back to his crazy syphilitic father's blitz packages, and the team started to suck again. And they were historically bad last year.
Yeah.
New coordinator might improve that, but there's still no talent on that defense. I can't name a player.
No. And did Colston not leave? Did they not cut Colston, I think, this year? I think they let him go in the offseason.
Willie Snead and that, they've got enough for Breeze to put up 20 points a game. I don't think this defense can hold anyone under 20 points.
No. All right. So, the last team I had was, you brought him up, but you had the price wrong. I have Green Bay under 10.5. It's plus 130. And I don't think Jordy Nelson is going to cure all that ails him. That offense looked discombobulated. I can't believe one receiver is going to change that whole offense to get to 11 wins.
Oh, yeah, I read that backwards.
Yeah, they're plus 130,
Whoa.
under 10.5. So they're at Jacksonville, at Minnesota to start. Home
Minnesota
for Detroit.
is not easy.
No, home for Detroit, home for the Giants, home for Dallas, home for Chicago. So if they're 3-3 coming out of that would be good. Then they're at Atlanta, home for Indy, at Tennessee, at Washington, at Philly, home for Houston, home for Seattle, at Chicago, home for Minnesota, at Detroit.
So 11 wins in what I think is one of the tougher divisions in football. I mean, it's not the AFC West or the AFC East, which are fucking war zones.
No, but Detroit's defense fucking stifled them last year.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. I think the NFC North is actually a really tough division. To predict an 11-win season from a team out of the North, I think it's the cult of Aaron Rodgers.
Detroit's defense was good last year. Was really good last year. When everybody thought they'd stink after losing Fairley and Sue.
Yeah, and they came on as the year went on. I mean, I don't like Detroit's coach, which is why, even though in my short list I had over 7.5 for Detroit as a possible, I rejected it ultimately because I don't trust Caldwell.
Yeah.
But I
and
still
Kelvin
think
Johnson not there is a little tough too. I don't know how they're replacing those yards and touchdowns, but
well, maybe make him look somewhere else. I mean, sometimes we talked about it last year with Cam Newton having no Kelvin Benjamin. might have taught him to actually look at the rest of the field.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like the Green Bay under 10.5.
Yeah,
I could see him being 10-6, easily 10-6, and then we may lose this one. But looking what was on the board and the prices of anything a guy would want, they were all skewed one way or the other. This one was one of the best prices on the board.
I completely read this backwards when I was going through these.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, what? I'm like, oh, you don't want Green Bay? I have them under 10.5 at a good number.
Yeah, I thought I was taking negative 160 and going, oh, the world is seeing what we've seen.
No.
Yeah, no, I love that. Let's book that one.
Okay. Let's see what that'll pay.
Well, it should pay 13.
Was the other one 140?
No,
it'll pay like 11 or 12 or something.
11.50.
Yeah, 11.50. So $5 Green Bay under 10.5 pays 11.50 booked.
Okay. And my last pick, though we have two possibles. My last pick, though I guess that gives me an extra pick. I guess we'll have to live. This is one I always bring up because the numbers are fucked every year. The New York Giants under 8.5. The price isn't good at negative 125, but how in God's green earth do these Giants win 9 games?
Under 8.5. Let me pull up their schedule. It's one I didn't even look at.
They're playing the AFC North.
Okay.
Only one chump there, as we discussed.
Well, I think two. I think Baltimore's a chump.
Okay, well, fair enough. I've stroked it off my list already. You've made your point, man.
No, I'm just saying I think Baltimore is chumpy.
Okay.
Or borderline chumps.
But who are the Giants?
I think they're 6. Oh, no, I'm not defending the Giants. I'm just saying I don't think Baltimore is a 9-win team. So if they win 6, I think that would be good for Baltimore this year.
Okay.
Okay, so they're at Dallas, home for New Orleans, home for Washington, at Minnesota, at Green Bay, home for Baltimore, at the Rams, home for Philly, home for Cincy, home for Chicago, at Cleveland, at Pittsburgh, home for Dallas, home for Detroit, at Philly, at Washington. To end the season. Fuck, I don't see 9 wins in there.
Nope. And I said this before a couple of years ago.
Okay, so even if they split...
who's their running back? I don't know.
Rashad Jennings.
Yeah, all right. That makes my argument even stronger.
Oh, no, and they have one receiver. Well, Cruz.
They've got Beckham.
Yeah, they got Beckham, and Cruz is supposed to be back, but he hasn't played in a year and a half. I don't even know if he'll play this year either. Because the same stories are coming out of New York that were coming. Oh, he's close.
Well, and I was listening to, admittedly, a non-connected sports doctor. This patellar tendon, there isn't the history like the ACL. And this, brings up a lot of questions about Pittsburgh's running back, Le'Veon Bell. This is an injury where we don't have the history on it. It can still, at this stage, be career-ending or years of recovery. No one knows. But in any case, so take Cruz out. So what do they have? They've got a brutal defense. They've got a one-handed man who swears he'll play without the cast.
Well, he put out an Instagram video where he could actually grip the football with his bad hand.
That's a lot different than gripping the jersey of a 350-pound man who's as strong as you are.
No, I know. I'm just that was kind of facetious.
Okay.
But let's say they split divisional games. That's 3 wins. So non-divisional games, they have New Orleans. They could probably win that. At Minnesota, at Green Bay, home for Baltimore, at the Rams, home for Cincy, home for Chicago, at Cleveland, at Pittsburgh, home for Detroit. Do you see another 5 wins in there?
I do not.
I don't either.
And that's even like I kind of think they're in the same level of mediocrity as New Orleans.
And Baltimore. I think they're all. I was going to say the Giants-Baltimore game would be a coin flip for me.
Yeah, they're all the same shit.
Yeah, the Rams, all those teams, Philly, they're all in the same kind of bull. Chicago.
The price isn't great, but 8.5 seems goddamn absurd to me.
What'd they win last year? 5? Or did they get to 6? No, they were. What'd they have? 7?
What were they at?
6.
And everyone
6
says,
and
they lost all those early games, in the last minute. No, but they were terrible. They're a terrible fucking football team.
Yeah, they lost to Atlanta and Dallas. Then they won 3 in a row. Then it was win-loss, and then they fucking lost 6 of their last 7.
And I think losing 6 of the last 7, you don't change that by replacing Coughlin in one of the most awkward sort of transitions of power.
No, I know. But you know what? They were in a lot of these games. I'm not defending it, but they were in a lot of these games. Lost 27-26, 24-20. Philly beat them 27-20. Lost 53-49 to the Saints. 27-26 to New England. 20-14 to the Skins. 23-20 in overtime to the Jets. 38-35 to Carolina. Minnesota blew them out. 49-17. They lost 35-30 to Philly. Like, they're in the games. I just don't know if they've improved enough to make that step to get them 3 more wins. I don't know where they improved to not have those games go that way.
Yeah. That's my argument. I know the price isn't beautiful at negative 125, but this is one where I'm almost betting somehow the Giants and the Jets are always overrated.
And to your point about a running back, Jennings had 2 games over 100, and those both came in the last 3 weeks. But otherwise, it was 52, 48, 46, 63, 56, 54, 48, 39, 15 out of Arene. I don't even know who this other guy was that led him in rushing for 23. And then Jennings came back for the last 4 games, 81, 107, 74, 170.
And they lost 3 of 4 days.
Yeah.
Which means they were just trying not to get Eli killed. Like, I don't think their O-line has improved. I don't think their D-line is anything. I don't see a big improvement there. No.
And Beckham led him in receiving like 12 out of the 16 games. And when he didn't, Vereen had 46, Jennings had 54, Randall had 116, Randall had 68, Randall had 80 and 79. That's the receiving after Beckham. So if he doesn't have a big game, they don't win much.
Nope.
So, no, I'm in on that one.
Okay.
So we might as well book that one.
I think we book them all now.
Yeah. So we got the Giants under 8.5. $5 pays $9. Booked. Okay. That was under 8.5. All right. So then we booked the Green Bay one. Or we did that already.
Yeah.
No, the other
Tampa
one is
Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we have 2 left here still. Tampa Bay under. Yeah. Or over, rather.
Over 7.5. And what was the other one?
New Orleans under.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, Tampa Bay. Let's do that one first.
Rising in the East.
Well, it's as much based on that shitty division as anything. Because I think they could squeak one out against Carolina, too.
That one pays a good price if we can get it.
Which one?
Your Tampa Bay call.
Oh, yeah. Tampa Bay over 7.5 wins. $5 pays $12.25. Okay. Then we have New Orleans under 6.5. $5 pays 10. All right. The first bets of the year are in the books.
Oh, and it feels good. It always feels good.
So we got summarize. Do you want to recap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Cleveland under 4.5 wins. $5 pays $9.54. We have the LA Rams under 6.5 wins. $5 pays $13. My favorite bet of the whole board. We have the Giants under 8.5 wins. I still can't believe that number. I just looked it up to make sure. We have them under 8.5. $5 pays $9. We have New Orleans under.
Over. Oh, no, under, sorry.
Yeah. We have New Orleans under 6.5. $5 pays $10. And we have Tampa Bay over 7.5 wins. $5 pays $12.25. We have Green Bay under 10.5 wins. $5 pays $11.50.
All right. So in 2 weeks, we'll be doing our division winner picks. Stay tuned for that. If you want to check out our podcast, you can listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device. On our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at offensivelines or facebook.com/offensivelines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. And I'm an asshole because I forgot our own personal Twitter accounts at OLinesMarlon or at OLinesBoyd if you want to send us a tweet. And I just want to say thanks to Doug. Raider Doug was tweeting at me during the playoffs of basketball. He's a big Golden State Warrior fan. He was drunk as fuck on Saturday night when they won in Oklahoma City. And I believe the same on Monday when they won Game 7. So good luck in the finals, and hopefully they lose because I bet on Cleveland already. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon, and that was episode 8 of the off-season. Gambling begins again.
Generous fucking gambler.